All right, let's dive in. We've got an ancient sphere, supposedly thousands of years old, and then a modern airliner that just vanished into thin air. Now, on the surface, these two stories couldn't be more different. But in this explainer, we're going to dig into some source material that claims they are deeply, impossibly connected.
So that's the big question, right? What in the world could possibly link a 12,000-year-old artifact to a plane that went missing in our lifetime? It sounds like something straight out of a movie, but the information we're looking at today lays out a really detailed and, frankly, shocking case that this connection isn't just possible, it's real.
So on one hand, we have what's called the bugosphere. It's this strange metallic sphere that's claimed to be an example of technology that just shouldn't have existed back then. And on the other hand, you have the tragic and baffling disappearance of flight MH370. The source material we're examining says they aren't just related, they're two sides of the exact same incredible secret.
Okay, so first things first, let's really look at the impossible evidence. These are the core claims from the source material, the pieces of the puzzle that just don't fit into any conventional explanation.
Let's start with the sphere. According to the analysis that's cited in our source, there was resin found inside this thing, and that resin was carbon dated to be over 12,500 years old. Now, to give you some perspective, that is almost 3 times older than the Great Pyramid of Giza. It's just mind-bogglingly ancient.
The age is one thing, but the metal itself, that's where it gets really weird. The source claims this sphere is made of an aluminum alloy that has no known match in any database on Earth. Think about that for a second. It supposedly contains rare earth elements we didn't even know existed until the late 1800s, and it's made of pure aluminum, a metal we only learned how to smelt in modern times. The whole point is, 12,000 years ago, an object like this should have been absolutely impossible to create.
So we have this object with seemingly impossible metallurgy. Now let's jump way forward in time to MH370. Here, the key piece of evidence is just as unbelievable. Leaked footage supposedly captured by a top-secret military surveillance system called Gorgon Stare. The slide says it best. Just think of it as a live, recordable Google Earth in the sky, a giant eye watching everything below.
And this is what that eye in the sky allegedly saw. First, 3 glowing orbs looking like plasma appear and surround the jet. Then, they move together, converging on the plane. And then, a bright flash. And the Boeing 777 is just gone, vanished, right out of the sky.
A vanishing plane? An impossible artifact?
I know what you're thinking. How could any of this possibly be real? Well, according to the source, the answer is in a kind of physics that's been kept under lock and key. Stuff that goes way beyond what you'd find in any textbook.
The first major concept is something called zero-point energy. Basically, it's the energy that's just there, in the fabric of space-time itself. The argument is, if you can figure out how to tap into it, you could do things that seem like magic, like teleportation, basically collapsing the space between point A and point B, making something disappear here and reappear somewhere else instantly.
The second big idea is aneutronic fusion. You know how normal nuclear reactions are messy, they produce heat, radiation, all that nasty stuff? Well, this is supposedly a clean kind of fusion. It creates pure energy, direct electricity, with none of the harmful byproducts. The source suggests this is what powers those plasma orbs, letting them do these incredible maneuvers.
And if you're thinking this all sounds like pure science fiction, well, the source points to this absolutely bombshell quote. It's attributed to Ben Rich, the guy who used to run Lockheed's legendary Skunk Works. The implication here is just chilling. This impossible technology isn't just a theory. It's been a reality, hidden away in the classified world for decades.
So that's the big question, isn't it? If this kind of technology is real, why don't we all know about it? Why are we still driving gas cars? This leads us to the darkest part of the whole claim, that a massive illegal cover-up has been hiding this reality from literally everyone, including Congress and the president.
The source even gives this alleged group a name, supposedly from a senior CIA contact, the Rat Pack. They're described as this hidden group of disinformation agents buried deep inside the government, and their only job is to make sure these secrets stay buried.
And this slide is a perfect example of how they allegedly operate. On the books, Congress gives $22 million for a UAP study. The official report comes back saying, basically, we found nothing. But, according to the source's leaked documents, all the real findings, the really hot stuff like retrieved crash materials and gravity control formulas, were secretly siphoned off into programs that don't officially exist. A total deception.
This brings us to the person who allegedly leaked the MH370 footage, a Lieutenant Commander Edward Lin. Just look at this timeline. It's striking. 4 days after the plane vanishes, the footage is supposedly sent out. Less than a month later, Lin is being investigated for espionage. He ends up taking a plea deal, gets a 9-year sentence, and then, after he gets out, he legally changes his name.
Okay, so let's just step back for a second and put all these pieces together. We've got an ancient artifact, a vanished airliner, top-secret physics, and a deep-state cabal. What does it all actually mean? Well, if even a fraction of this is true, the implications are absolutely staggering.
Because the central argument here is that these secret programs, running on technology that is light years beyond our own, and funded by trillions of dollars that are completely off the books, well, they add up to a parallel state, an entity that operates completely outside the rule of law, with zero oversight from anyone, not the president, not Congress, not you, not me.
And so this is the question that the source material really leaves us with. If this technology is real, if it can literally pull energy out of thin air and make things teleport, who gets to control it? Who holds them accountable? It's a question that really forces you to think about who truly holds the power in our world.